I ran for a whole bunch of stuff, lost a whole bunch of stuff, and so I really know city meetings and I really know how to run one. I'm currently an active duty Air Force officer doing public affairs down in South Carolina. If you have questions about RTC scholarships or service academies, feel free to ask me after class. Before we start my class, conducting effective meetings, I want to harp on the importance of David's class that you just had. There are so many instances at Boise State where guys have lost scholarships, Boise Nation opportunities, Model County, or so much more because some citizen in some city in some county didn't properly mark an X in a box and had it like one line or slash or check mark. Or votes were counted wrong by the election judges and stuff like that. So that class is so important. Please listen to it. Please ask questions about it after from your counselors. It is so important that elections are run properly. And taking that to the real world, you could be misrepresented. You could end up truly just not having the person you want get elected, and then have, if it's a president, maybe 4 years, think of the entire nation poorly knew how to vote in the US. It's truly crazy. Please pay attention and ask questions about David's class to your counselors, and pay attention the first time voting this afternoon. But this is the Conducting Effective Meetings class. The purpose of this class is to give you a structure and a step through in how you should run a city or county meeting. Because a lot of you have never seen one before. Most of you have probably never seen one before. The purpose is to give you a structure, give you guidelines, to then make your own and make it better. So what I want to start with, pretty simple. Raise your hand, stand up, tell me your county and then your city here at Boise State. And give me like a quick one-sentence word on what makes an effective meeting. And no one raises their hand, we will sit here for the next 45 minutes.
I'm from Geiger County.
Stand up.
Oh, yeah.
Always stand up when you're talking. How else do people know who's talking?
Right. So I'm from Geiger County, and my city is Saxon City. I think in one word what makes a good meeting is effective. Like
Okay.
making use of time, right?
Effective. Cool. Someone, yeah, right here.
Yeah. My name is Rogers Wozniak. I'm from Strode City, Clark County. I would say one word that makes an effective meeting is collaborative.
Okay, collaborative. So we've got effective, collaborative. We'll go back over to that side in the back. Not you, sorry. Yeah, you with the green lanyard.
Hi, so I'm from Canastra County. I am in Stockgrass. So
What's your name?
Hubert.
Yeah, because like guys, if you get elected later, we want to know your name.
What makes a good meeting is not only collaboration, but also sharing diverse feelings and issues that one has, so we can get a general aspect of what everyone wants.
Awesome. Yeah, right here.
I'm Ethan. I am from Renier City in Clark County, and I believe trust is the basis of every meeting. You have to trust that your subordinates and your party members are able to do their job correctly.
Awesome. Cool. I'll take one more. Yeah, blue shirt.
So,
Guys.
I'm Isham from Geiger County, Beaver City. I think one word that I would say for a good meeting is structure and organization. It's 2 words. I think any meeting has to have some law and order laid down so everyone knows what the guidelines are. Everyone can have like a structured order meeting, and so everyone runs effectively.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So we've got effective, collaborative, organized, structured, innovative, supportive. I'm good. Thanks, guys. Sorry, we're gonna move on. But I want to point out. I want to point out that hey, like these are my 5 principles for an effective meeting. We hit all of them, right? The only one you guys didn't get, or you kind of got maybe over there, was enjoyable. So these 5 principles with a purpose. You're coming with a plan for the meeting. We're not walking in and being like, well, we're here, what are we doing? We're going into respectful. We're not haggling each other. We're not saying that idea is stupid. We're not making personal attacks. We are supporting each other and trying to get the meeting done. We're productive. There's agenda, there's an itinerary, and we're organized and prepared. People came with a plan. We didn't come in and say, I move to increase the city budget. By how much? To what departments? From where? With what money? Like, we come with those plans in mind. And it's enjoyable. People aren't sitting here being like, it's too loud, it's too vulgar, someone's attacking me, stuff like that. Those are the 5 principles that I see for an effective meeting. Does anyone have like another one that we're close, I'd say? Is there anything that I missed here? Anyone think there's something else that really makes an effective meeting that we didn't cover? Yeah, in the back.
Clear communication.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's, yeah. Yeah, over here, what do you think?
Attendance.
Attendance.
Show up.
Okay, yeah. So like well attended, like people are there. The people who are there are supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So then that fall under organized or prepared. Yeah, sure.
I think engagement, everybody has to be engaged for it to be an effective meeting.
Yeah, so like maybe like with purpose. Yeah. Focused is another word that might go well with that. Cool. So I want to point out no one has said fast, loud, scripted, or overly funny or rude, right? Like it can be funny and we can have fun laws. I'm not a fun killer. And we'll have examples of good laws later that I think are hilarious. But no one said these things. We're trying to avoid that. Because those stop all the progress that you guys have talked about previously. Otherwise, we'll step into the video.
Hey, I was on this date the other night, and we were at this restaurant.
All right, guys, you guys ready to get started?
Hang on a second.
Sure, you ready to get started, buddy?
Okay. Hey, you guys, we're all here. We should start.
All right, thanks for coming, guys. I just wanted to take a few minutes and talk about some ideas for the marketing strategy this year. So, if you got one, just throw it out there. I'd love to hear.
Yeah, how long is this meeting supposed to last? The schedule wasn't exactly clear.
Should be out of here in 30.
Is that approximate or?
Hey guys, sorry I'm a couple minutes late. Got caught in traffic.
7 minutes, actually.
Yeah.
Couple is 2.
So what we're doing is we're just coming up with some ideas for our new marketing strategy.
Sure.
So, anyone?
I think we should implement Pinterest.
Ooh, that's a fun idea.
What about a publicity event in the park?
Interesting. But how are you going to plan around the weather? What if it rains?
So we'll party in the rain.
Okay, just want to emphasize there's no bad ideas here. We're just brainstorming. So.
Yeah, I'm just really thinking it'll be a huge waste of money to try to plan around the weather.
Yeah, okay, we get your concerns. Nancy, thank you.
Okay, anyone else have an idea? Ephraim.
I've always wanted to see rain fall down all at once in a big splash instead of small drops over time. I mean, think how it could impact the irrigation system.
Okay. Terry?
Well, I have an idea from my previous job that I had last year, but let me take that back a little bit. I have this wonderful idea, but it doesn't really make sense unless I just take it back a second and bring it forward together. It was like 3 weeks ago that I remember he said something that I couldn't understand.
Hold on a second, Terry. Hold on. Thanks for pointing. Here's what we need to do, okay? Lauren, you got this? We do a video submission contest on YouTube.
Oh, that's been done.
It'll be on Facebook, it'll be on Pinterest, it'll be on Twitter.
If we do something with technology, we lose the senior demographic.
So, you guys want to see an example?
Should we be moving on to the next topic? I mean, it's already 1:15.
Quarter after. That's funny.
Who knows how to put this on the screen? Up there, because you're not going to, I want you to see all the details. We have cable, does this cable work?
And it's power.
I don't know if on the there's an
This one.
HDMI
That cord's not going to be long
in
enough.
the back.
Does that remote go to
like
the
2 or 3
TV?
like HDMI 1.
Plenty of time, guys.
HDMI
No rush.
HDMI
This isn't working.
I got a green marker.
Call the IT guy.
Wait,
There's
turn
also
what off and back on?
one called S-Video.
Hello?
Okay, I've got it working.
Hit play. Okay, now imagine hundreds of those floating around the web. The action.
So when we pass that, prime examples of how a meeting can be hilarious but truly awful to sit in. Especially here at Boise State when you're trying to get work done and people care what they're talking about. Cool. I ask you guys to follow along, please. Open the manual, scan the QR code. I encourage you, like I'm saying, like do this right now. Like pull out your phone, scan the QR code. Because this is taking the manual. Go to page 24 in the manual, running an effective meeting. Because you guys will be running a meeting in 2 hours. And if you don't know where the handbook tells you to run a meeting at, how are you going to run a meeting? Cool. You get to it, you go, place there, come in, go down to page 24 in that document. And that's the running effective meeting schedule. Follow along if you want, but at least leave the window open, at least through your first meeting, is all I'm asking.
What city else like this?
Cool. Awesome. We'll move on. Here's your agenda in meetings that happen in Boise State, outlined in the manual on the page you have up. Starting with the call to order, like I did, like Mr. Benedict did, we said, hey, pay attention, we're starting the meeting. And we call the meeting to order at a time. Then normally we'd go to the pledge and election of chairman, reviewing of previous minutes so that everyone in this meeting is informed of what happened in the last meeting. If they missed or if there's Then we'll move into treasurer's reports and other reports, or approval and appointment of committees, or committee reports that exist. Finally, old business, things that used to be on the table that maybe we now need to deal with now because there's been more discussion outside of the meeting, so the meeting is productive. So you have to do work outside so that inside can be productive. Finally, we step into what the majority of the meeting is, which is new business. Your standard meeting here at Boise State for a city or county level should be anywhere between 50 or an hour and 10 minutes long. And that should consist 80% to 85% of new business that is thoroughly thought, prepared, and discussed. The rest of this you should power through relatively fast. Sometimes maybe old business, there's a few things that need to be addressed, retabled, brought off, stuff like that that brings up, right? So that's what I'm saying is 50 minutes to an hour and 10, new business is the goal. Now everyone's like, what is new business? How do I run a meeting? So we step into, first pet peeve of mine, motion versus move. Motion is a noun. It is the thing you're doing. It is the law, the proposed action. Move is the act of proposing that piece of business. I move to establish a new law. The motion on the table is the new law. Make sense? Tracking? I move to amend the motion by this. Stuff like that. If you guys have questions, please raise your hand. It gets confusing here in a second. Cool. So now we'll step into what is the parts of the motion. So you first have the initial motion. Someone saying, I move to establish a committee for health and safety that forces people to shower. And someone says second.
I second that motion.
Cool. So now we go into a period of discussion. Discussion questions like, okay, how are you enforcing that law? I should already have the answer. We shouldn't be figuring out how we're enforcing it. We should have the answer. So how are you enforcing that law? Oh, we'll enforce that law by establishing this strict line and this bathroom checkpoint at 7 a.m. in the morning. Or maybe we go into this optional fourth step, which is an amendment. And someone wants to amend the motion by maybe adding brushing teeth into it.
Or a checklist saying your name, you have to shower,
Yeah.
self-report.
So they would say, I move to...
I move to amend this motion to add a checklist for blank, 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 blank.
Awesome. And then so I'd second. And so now we've actually done a weird book thing, is the best way to describe it. So you read the book, you open the book is this motion on the Health and Safety Commission. And then Josh has opened up and said, okay, we're now opening this amendment. We're not discussing this motion that's down here anymore. We're talking about the amendment. So we're now in discussion on the amendment of the main motion. And now we'll be like, okay, who's managing this checklist? And you're like, oh, the health commissioner for the city. Awesome. Cool. And then we vote. So once discussion kind of dwindles down, or if time is a factor, the mayor will say, seeing no further discussion, or seeing time is a factor, we will move into a period of voting. We'll say all in favor, all opposed, all abstain. You'll say aye, nay, or aye again for some reason, based on how it works. Does that make sense? How we step through amendment, so then it passed. So now the health and safety, where we have the amendment and the motion, we've now closed this amendment and put it off to the side. The motion is now that we have a health and safety commission that is responsible for ensuring people shower and using the checklist to do so every morning at X amount of time. And now we'll discuss this. We're discussing, asking questions. Okay, how are we doing this? How often do they have to shower? What are the details of this proposed motion in Congress, this proposed bill or law? And then we'll go to a vote. And people will vote, and ideally, hopefully, you all would vote that making people shower is a good thing. So then that would pass. And then the floor will be open again for more new business and another motion. Does that make sense? How we went through a motion, opened an amendment, closed the amendment, and then reopened the motion? Anyone have questions? Cool. So now's my favorite part. I need 5 volunteers. If you've already talked, just keep your hand up. I'll take you in the second row. Oh yeah, you're close. Blue shirt in the back. You had your hand up earlier and I didn't call on you, so go ahead. And then, did I call on you earlier? No, I called on you again. Yeah, sure. Cool, come up here. Sorry, if I call on you, come up here. Was that you forced in here. You guys are responsible. You'll be the mayor. Think of, I'll give you a minute. Think of a law or a city or something. stepping in. So we just closed old business. So the floor is, just repeat after me, the floor is now open for new business.
Alright, the floor is now open for new business.
I move.
I move to change the national currency of the United States to V-Bucks.
Okay. Maybe like, so pause there, sorry, right before you second. Pause there. We're in this case, a city council meeting. Is that something we could do in a city council meeting? Do we own the national currency in a city? No. You can change the city's currency, but is there maybe a law at a higher level that stops us from changing the city's currency inside the sovereign nation that is the United States? Cool. We understand how this is not the best motion, correct? Cool. We will step on. Continue going with the example because I want the practice.
I second it.
That's fine. Most people can second. Cool. We have a second. So where are we now, Mayor?
Alright, so we just second, so discussion. Do we have anything we want to bring up specifically about that motion? Any amendments we want to add to that? Or are we good with just V-Bucks?
The U.S. currency is weak. V-Bucks are our life. We need that as our currency.
Alright. Any opposing discussion? Anyone have any problems with this? Anything we need to fix?
Any questions? Any amendments that need to be made? Oh, was there sorry, pause. Was there a question? Okay, cool. Awesome. You take your headphone. Oh, yes. Next. Awesome.
Alrighty, seeing no further discussion, any amendments or anything, I think we move on to voting here to keep moving, meeting moving. So, all those in favor of changing the national currency to V-Bucks?
Aye.
Alright, 4 aye. All those against? All those abstaining? Alright, we got V-Bucks.
Five more. Yeah, sure. You. Yeah, you. The other one's here. Yeah, over there. Hey, what do I have? Sorry, math is sorry. 1, 2, 3. We need 2 more. Yeah, sure. You're right here. Yeah, in the back. The last one. Cool. You can get there. Alright, guys, reel back in. We'll keep going. So, we just finished old business, so we're now in, someone answer, what section?
New business.
New business, cool. So the floor is open for new business.
Floor is open for new business. I move to imply that everyone has to go to the gym at least once at Boys State. I second that.
Okay.
Any open to discussion?
How are we supposed to enforce this? Are we gonna have a sign-up sheet? Are we going to have self-reports?
We'll have a hall monitor go around with the sign-up sheet, take you to the gym. And we will.
Speak up, guys, just so people can hear.
Yeah. We'll have a hall monitor to enforce this. We'll go around with a clipboard, take you to the gym, mark you off, and go back and repeat the process. Are there any amendments to the motion?
I amend to, for everyone who goes to the gym, they have to bench.
All in favor of the amendment?
So we had the motion. So someone tell me what do we need?
It says workout every once.
Yeah, no. So we had the motion. He amended, right? He moved to amend.
He seconded it.
Cool. So if we don't have a second, what happens? It does, yeah. So seeing lack of a second, the amendment dies. You can say that.
Lacking a second, the amendment dies.
Cool. So now we try to go to so just to we're back in the motion. So we're in discussion on the motion. You guys are all about that gym, going to the gym once every state. Cool. Yeah. So the mayor, as responsible for keeping the meeting going, there's maybe not any productive discussion, right? Like they're kind of like tiptoeing around, kind of idle hands. So we'll press on, and he'll say,
If there are no amendments, then it's us for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All abstained.
cool. And that's meeting city in Letcher County is now forced to go to the gym, or at least once they're in Boise State. Thanks, guys. Cool. Everyone understand kind of how a meeting or how motions or how business meetings are run here at Boise State? Yeah, what's up? Kind of, but like we'll get to there actually. He brought up Robert's Rules of Order, if anyone knows what that is. So we'll step into kind of the philosophy here at Boise State. Parliamentary procedure or Robert's Rules of Order are a method and a structure. Guys, listen up, please and thank you. Is a method and a structure on how a meeting should be run to ensure that people have an equal voice and an equal opportunity to get business and action done. They're great for running a meeting, but they're a little bit too strict and they're very confusing and detailed for the newest person adopting them. So while they're a guideline, I'd much rather follow your Boise State Citizenship Manual and what they say to do and kind of just follow the structure. We want you guys to have a fun time. We want you guys to have effective meetings. We don't want you guys to be Robert's Rules of Ordering each other left and right or Googling and researching that. That's the structure that we talk about. The other thing that I want to talk about is everyone up here, they should have come prepared with those because they represent their constituents. So say there was a division and vote and one of them nayed going to the gym. That's public record. So if I voted and I'm in favor of gym visits and my alderman that I voted for doesn't vote that, maybe I'm not voting for my alderman next year. Or if my mayor isn't entertaining motions on things that I care about in the city level or in real life at the city level, maybe I'm not voting for that mayor next year. That's the informed stuff you need to be. And paying attention to the minutes, to what's happening in your political meetings so you're informed. Generally, the news will help you out with that. But staying informed is super crazy to inform your election decisions. That's a huge thing is voter education is huge in the U.S. right now. The other thing are accuracy, duration. We kind of already talked about it. Making sure it looks like it. If you power through 5 amendments in 10 minutes because you're like, I vote people stop farting in the hallway. And it powers through full support, unanimous, you're done. You do like with 6 other laws super fast, you're not having discussion. If everyone's agreeing on things, it's maybe not as productive. You go, hey, I move we establish these 5 baselines. And then you have something that's more valuable, more discussion-based. Something that's truly improving the city, improving the county. The other one is when you get to the county level, ensure, kind of we had a great example, that you're like nested and you're looking at what your cities are doing and that your cities are informed. So if all cities have a gym visit law, I'm not going to, at the county level, establish a law that bans the gym, right? Because that doesn't make sense. I am at the county level not representing my cities. I should be looking to make them cohesive, make them agreeable, so that maybe all 3 cities have the same gym policy. So if we have visitors or tourists, they don't come and go from city A and be like, oh, I have to go to the gym once a week, to city B to, oh, I have to go to the gym 7 days a week. That makes sense? Seeing how that cohesion matters? That's kind of it, guys. Does anyone have any other questions? I just have a quote that I really like. Any other questions on how a meeting works? Cool. I'll give you guys the however long back you have. But just pay attention. These 2 lectures are super important. You'll do a lot of meetings, a lot of elections. Please pay attention and ask questions to your counselors.
Gentlemen, 1 moment, please.
City councilors,
You can take your place.